Jnaya. Jnaya means the object of knowledge. Okay, I have knowledge. From this knowledge, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to know, that is called Jnaya. Jnaya means knowing that Jnana, you will attain liberation. So by understanding this Jnaya or the object of that knowledge, then one gets liberation. What is that? Atma Swarupa. So by means of knowing that Atma, one gets liberation. That's why Upanishad, they all the time say Jnana Muktihi, Jnana Moksha. By Jnana, one gets moksha. What is that Jnana? Understanding I am not this body, I am completely spirit soul. But this Jnana is covered. That's why we are in this material world. So this Jnana is very important. This knowledge is very important. And how this knowledge can be attained? Krishna spoke in the first 6 chapter itself. This can be attained either by Nishkama Karma Yoga or by Jnana Yoga also. And in the middle 6 chapter, he explained this Jnana can be attained by Bhakti Yoga. So Krishna gives 3 different ways to attain this. First thing, by means of doing your Nishkama Karma Yoga. And second thing, by directly engaging ourselves in Bhakti Yoga. And lastly, now he speaks about by means of philosophical understanding. So this part is considered as Jnana Kanda. Why it is considered Jnana Kanda? Because here, if you see, there is no any other process mentioned. Here, the analytical study, again the analytical study is given. You have to see the difference. You have to understand that we are not this body, we are not the prana, we are not the mind, we are not the intelligence, we are not the emotions, but we are beyond all these things. So this analytical study is called Jnana. So don't feel bad that if you don't understand this, because we are not Jnanis. We are studying this to understand the glory of bhakti, because the Jnana is whatever, how much endeavor they have to do to get this Jnana. This Jnana is attained very easily by devotion service. So we are going through these chapters to understand one thing, that by means of this Jnana, what is the conclusion? What we are trying to understand means we are not the doers. This is one important thing that we are understanding from this Jnana Kanda. Like I have said three times, 3 things. That is karma, bhakti and Jnana. So by means of this bhakti, in the first 6 chapters, we understand that this karma doesn't belong to me. It is Lord's karma. So this is what explained in the Karma Kanda. That is first 6 chapter. And then in the middle 6 chapter, that we understand the phala belongs to the Lord. He is the enjoyer. This is what we understand from the middle 6 chapter. And in the end 6 chapter, that we understand we are not the doers, he is the doer. So that is the most important understanding that we should get. Why we think this is, why we think ourselves as this body? Because we are so attached with this body. So we are thinking, I am seeing, I am hearing, I am talking, I am doing. Actually, we are not doing anything. Everything is done by this body. How? Because of this Prakriti Kriyamanani Gunai Karmani Sarvasaha. Krishna already spoke about this in the 3rd chapter itself. Maybe if you recollect. Krishna already said, Arjuna, you are not doing anything. Prakriti Kriyamanani, everything is done by Prakriti. Automatically, the Prakriti has this swabhava, these impressions. Otherwise, the child which has just taken birth, how the child knows how to drink milk, and the child is expressing so many different kinds of bhava, so many kinds of expressions. When mother takes the child is smiling. When the child is taken by some other strangers, then the child sees in a different way. It just gets scared also. So all these impressions, because the child has never seen what is love, has never seen what is fear, has never seen what is excitement, has never undergone all these bhavas. But where these bhavas are coming for the child? Because these bhavas are coming from previous impressions. So because of these previous impressions, everything is happening automatically. Just you, with a sober mind, you just think a little bit. Am I doing anything to see an object? I have these eyes and there is an object. Am I doing any endeavor to see this? Am I doing any endeavor to hear anything? Am I doing any endeavor to speak? This is all happening. How it is happening? Because the senses are going towards the sense object. It is naturally it is happening. It is natural impression, because of previous vasanas, it is happening naturally. Like a person, he just sits inside the vehicle, he just switches, he just stays there, and everything is happening automatically. But foolishly, he's thinking, I am doing everything. I am moving this big machine. He is not moving. Everything is already designed. So what we are doing in this body, we are just sitting and we are just watching. But instead of just watching, we are thinking, I am doing, I am doing, I am doing. Because of this thinking, we are having this bodily concept of life. When you understand you are not doing anything, everything is done by body, or just simply an observer, then we get detached from this body. Sounds difficult, right? Just by understanding this, how can we get detachment from this body? This is what jnanis they do. That's why we are not jnanis. That's why we don't follow jnana yoga. If you see Rishabhadeva, for example, in Bhagavatam, Rishabhadeva. So at the end of the chapter, at the end of his Leela, it is mentioned why Rishabhadeva has taken his avatar. What is the purpose of Rishabhadeva's incarnation? And then it is said that the purpose of Rishabhadeva's incarnation is that just to show this body can be maintained without doing any karma. That is the whole purpose of showing Rishabhadeva's avatar. Because Rishabhadeva, at the end of his life, he was completely self-realized. He was Atmarama. He was not doing anything. He was simply roaming around nakedly. But his body was in a very good condition and he did not care for anything. Like Jadabharata, he was just walking. He did not care for any kinds of happiness or distress. When people, they wanted to bring him and cut his head, he was not resisting. When Kali came and rescued him, he was not thanking. In both the case, he was not happy or he was not disturbed also. Why? He was completely out of this bodily concept of life. Just to show this to people, the Lord has appeared. And there is one more thing. When this was explained to Parikshit Maharaj, then Parikshit Maharaj was thinking like us, like all of us who are thinking now. Okay, we are not like that kind of jnanis. We are not out of this bodily concept of life. Then Parikshit Maharaj was also thinking in the same way. I am not in that level of jnani. What shall I do? Then Shukadeva Goswami says, better than Rishabhadeva, better than Jadabharata, better than myself, that is Shukadeva, you are more better. You are much more better. Why? Because that Lord who is supreme and who is the object of meditation for all these jnanis, that Lord was like a servant at your house. He was ready to do any kind of service to you. Why? Because of this devotion. So your devotion is much more glorious than all our jnana, than all our this Atmarama stage. So just to show this, the jnana path and also the glory of the supremacy of bhakti above the jnana. So all these avatars were mentioned. Similarly, here we can see that this chapter is meant to understand or to enhance the supremacy of the devotion service, just to make it more stronger.